right, y'all on.
Shalom, we are the real Hebrew Israelites. We want to give all praise and glory unto
Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Rakah, Kodash.
We want to give double honors to our elder apostles, the great millstone who taught us this truth. And also want to acknowledge all the Akim who are pushing this truth in the streets of Babylon week in and week out. All right. So with that, we're going to get right into the scripts today. And go ahead, Ak.
I got you, brother. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 1. Then, I got to clear all the chemtrail out of my throat real quick.
2 Chronicles 6:41.
All right. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 1. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him, and made no account of his labors.
So this is dealing with the elect. This is dealing with the prophets, the 144,000 men of Israel who are gonna, like the brother just read, stand in great boldness. All right. And not only are we doing that here today, but when the day of wrath comes, when those chariots come, and people see, the heathen sees the chariots in the skies, and they're going to be terrified. You know, the brothers, we're going to stand in great boldness in that day. And why is that? Because we've been diligent, and we've, through the Holy Spirit, we've been revealed onto what actually is happening. All right? And go ahead.
When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear, and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all that they had looked for.
Con. So the heathen and the 2/3, man, they're going to be terrified at the sight of those chariots, because their whole life they've been taught those were green aliens, you know. They're going to be running from the chariots, man, you know. While the brothers, we're going to be praising God. We're going to have fear to an extent, to a degree, but for the most part, hey, we know that these prophecies are faithful and true. And that's going to be like, oh my God, this is time. You know what I'm saying? It's go time, you know? And it says they're going to be amazed at the strangeness of their salvation, because it's going to be a strange sight for these heathen and these 2/3 to see the elect getting taken up in those chariots while they're burning in nuclear fire, you know? It's going to be strange to them, because they're not expecting that, right? So far beyond what they looked for, you know? That they've been taught all kinds of lies. They haven't been taught the truth about the chariots and the salvation of the men of Israel, you know? You had Thessalonians?
1 Thessalonians?
Yeah.
Chapter 4?
Yep, 16 and 17.
1 Thessalonians chapter 4, verse 16. For the Lord himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of the archangel, and with the trumpet of power. And the dead.
Yahushai, he's going to come down on the greatest chariot. His is going to be, you know, the prophet Esdras, when he saw the chariot and he saw the vision, he mistaken it for a mountain. It was so big. All right. So when he descends from heaven on those chariots, hey, this is what the brother's reading. Go ahead.
And the dead in Hamashiach shall rise first.
Because those dead souls are going to rise up first, man, before the ones who are still alive, you know, brothers who have died in this truth, you know. Some of the elders, you know, of One West, you know, are going to be in that number, you know. The brothers who passed away in this truth, they're going to raise up before the ones who are alive in that day. Go ahead.
17. Then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Most High Lord in the air, and so shall we ever be with the Most High Lord.
We're gonna be joined together with them in those chariots, man. It's gonna be a beautiful thing for some of us, you know. And Lord willing, we're part of that number, you know. But that's why we come out here week in and week out, because we are literally begging for our salvation, praying for our salvation, praying to be part of that number. You know, and the word pray just means, that's what it means, beg, you know. So this is what us brothers are doing up here today. Go ahead, Ak, you want to keep going?
I got you, Ak. Wisdom of Solomon 5 and 3. And they, repenting and groaning for anguish of spirit, shall say within themselves, this was he? whom we had sometimes in derision and a proverb of reproach?
Khan, they're gonna be tripping, those heathen and those 2/3 when they see us, you know, the men out here with the Bibles in their hands. They're gonna be like, these motherfuckers right here, the ones who we thought they were crazy, man. They thought we were crazy. They thought we lost our mind, you know. Our family members, you know, are included in that. You know, some of our family members, they don't, you know, they think you're crazy if you tell them that you're a prophet, you know. They don't have the faith, you know. And really, they should have faith that we're prophets, but they won't, and they don't, you know. But that'd be a good thing for them if they believed that, hey, this dude's a prophet, man. Just like our family members stumble. In the time of Yahweh Shai, they stumbled. You know, they didn't believe he was the Messiah. You know, why do you think they killed him? You know.
That's right.
You want to grab that Chronicles?
It's all good. This is 2 Chronicles 6, and you said 41 up?
Con.
And 41. Now therefore arise, O Yahweh power, into thy resting place, thou and the ark of thy strength. Let thy praises, or Salakia, let thy priests, O Yahweh power, be clothed with salvation, and let thy saints rejoice in goodliness.
Khan, and that's what we're out here doing, man. We're rejoicing in this thing of ours, you know. We are the priests. You know, if you're an Israelite man, you're supposed to be a priest. That's at one time it started out with the Levites, but then it was actually all of the tribes were priests, meaning priests to this truth, you know. They knew this truth. They knew, our forefathers knew this truth, but then they turned away, and that's why you have all these slumber on all of our people now, you know.
Yep.
And then you want to grab, you want to stay in 2 Chronicles in 36:16, and then you want to grab Psalms 148:14. 148:14, brother. God. And you know, they look at us shameful. They're like, oh my, these guys are at the bottom of the, you know, barrel. You know, they don't look at us in high regard, you know. But I was scrolling through social media today, and you know, I saw this. You see Israelites film. You know, they were doing a Facebook Live. This particular person was filming her televangelist, you know, and saying, praise, I wish I could meet this guy, you know. And it was just, it's in that slumber, you know. You don't see them doing that to us, you know. No, just like we read, they're you know, that we had sometimes in derision and a proverb and reproach. Reproach means shame, you know. So that's how you know who the real prophets are. All you got to do is read these scriptures to be able to discern this. But that shows you that people would rather just take someone else's word on this truth than actually research it themselves, you know?
That's right.
I got a preset, bro.
Con, go ahead.
This is Sirach. It's like Sirach 11 and verse 2. Commend not a man for his beauty, neither abhor a man for his outwardly appearance. The bee is little among as such as fly, but her fruit is the chief of sweet things.
Con.
So
yeah, the bee it seems insignificant, right? But the fruit that, you know, it's sweet with the bee, you know. They gather the honey, you know, and Yahweh always uses nature to you know, for analogies and parables so that people can understand, you know. But really the only ones who are going to understand this are the elect, are the prophets, are the ones who value this truth, you know, and the ones who Yahweh is dealing with, you know. The outward of appearance of us, you know, people have even stopped and said, hey, you guys look goofy with your garments, you know. We had a lady tell us that just 2 weeks ago or so, you know. But Yahweh don't look at that, you know. Matter of fact, this is a commandment. We should be wearing garments when we're teaching this truth, you know. But these heathen and these 2/3, they don't understand that. You know, they don't know the scriptures. All right.
I got a precept.
Come on, bring it out, huh?
And this is what we was just talking about. Daniel's 9 and 7. O Lord, righteousness belongeth unto thee,
Yep.
but unto us confusion of faces at this day to the men of Judah and to the inhabitants of Jerusalem and unto all of Israel that are near and that are far off through all the countries whither thou hast driven them because of their trespass that they have trespassed against thee.
Khan. So the outward appearance we're talking about, the brother talked about confusion of face he just read about, you know. That's actually a shameful thing because our men have taken on heathen women since the beginning of time. And now many Israelites look like the heathen, the other nations, right? But again, Yahweh, he tests the spirit, right? And the inward, not the outward, okay? Go ahead.
God, let me grab that up.
Yeah, that Chronicles.
This is 2 Chronicles 36 and 16. It reads,
Also hold
"But they mocked the messengers of the Heavenly Father and despised his words, and misused his prophets until the wrath of the Heavenly Father arose against his people till there was no remedy."
Khan. And the brother just read, they mocked the messengers and his prophets. All right? Are they mocking the televangelists? Are they mocking Joel Osteen or Creflo Dollar or T.D. Jakes?
Nope.
Nobody's mocking them. But do the brothers who teach this truth on the streets get mocked? You better believe it.
Yeah.
You know? We get mocked all the time when we're doing this work, you know? But it takes a special special kind of faith to do this, you know? And you're not gonna, if you're not an elect, if you're not chosen, if you're not a prophet, you're not gonna have that faith to come out here and do this. You know, especially you come out here with no faith and you start getting mocked, man. You think that brother's gonna last?
Nope.
Man, he's gonna be gone, man.
That's the parable of the sower, man.
Gone.
Once tribulation and what have you came, and some guys can't stand it, man.
Gone. He was
Especially us being in the world, man, because Jake is just proud to begin with.
gone.
You know, so you go to a place of being in the world and then all of a sudden have to be the bottom of the bottom, then, you know, that's
Most people can't bear that burden,
Yeah.
you know, carry that burden, you know. And that's why this truth, really, the more you learn, the more of a burden it becomes, you know. Because, oh shit, now you found out you can't shave your beard, you can't line it up.
Yeah.
Oh, you can't, you know, you can't eat some foods that you may have enjoyed in the past, you know. You can't, you know. You can't. You don't want to be getting married to the heathen woman. You know what I mean?
Yep, I remember,
Some of these brothers are like, oh, that'll fuck them over. That'll take him out the truth.
I remember my barber. I was getting my hair cut, and this dude was trying to line me up all crazy. He was trying to give me a chin strap, lining up the front of my head.
Yeah.
And you know, I was like, no, I don't want. Just leave it alone. He's like, what? And he was kind of confused. You know, like, what? You just want me to leave it alone? And my woman was right there, and he looked at her like he was expecting her to say something. You know what I mean? These people in the world. And she looked at him, and she was just like, he just likes it to look wild, I guess.
God.
And he's like, all right.
And we're stubborn too. Our people are stubborn, including me. You know, I've been stubborn. Because when I first started coming out, you know, I did line it up a little bit, my beard. You know, and then you know, it actually took some rebuke from the brother. You know, he said, hey man, he saw the elders are tightening the ship, tightening it up. You know, so you may think about, you know, lining it up, man, or else you may be you know, kicked out. You know. So I had a decision to make, right? And ever since then, I've embraced it, you know? I've embraced not lining up my shit, you know? Go ahead,
This is Ecclesiastes 1 and 18. For in much wisdom is much grief,
Khan.
and he that increaseth knowledge increases sorrow.
Boom, there it is. Beautiful precept, Doc. That's exactly what we're speaking about, right? You increase knowledge, you increase, your sorrow increases, all right? Because before that, you know, when you didn't know these things, you know, you weren't bothered by anything, or you weren't tormented by, hey, you know, I had women when I first started growing my beard out. Oh, you need to get rid of that thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You know what I mean?
That's why I looked at my woman like, what? She allows this?
Right.
Maybe that's how it is in your household, man. I got a couple steps.
And this coming from a woman who would lay the red carpet for me out in the past, you know. Now she's like, oh, you should get rid of that beard of yours, you know. You should line it up, you know. You should clean yourself up, you know. But hey, like the elders says, the elders always say, hey, a man of the Lord has a certain look, man. You know, John the Baptist and stuff, you know, the prophets of the old, they would look like in today's world what you would call madmen. You know, people were like, you know, which was the prophet who had saliva on his beard and everything? Who was that? I forgot who it was, but there was.
I know who was it? Ezekiel walked around naked for
God.
like a year, right?
Khan.
So you had this guy,
Walking
big
around.
old beard, just walking around butt
Butt
naked,
naked.
man. Look, yeah, people were running around. Oh man, there's that crazy guy again.
God. Well, I think it was John the Baptist, but he made himself look crazy, and he had like saliva all up in his beard, you know, and people were like, "Damn, what the heck's wrong with that guy?"
Yep.
But you know, it's not always a pretty thing,
Yeah.
you know, this truth of ours, you know.
Yeah, because Jake is over here wanting to wear the flyest shoes, man. The flyest. They'll go buy a shirt that's $2,000 for that shirt just because of the
God.
brand name. It won't even be a cool looking shirt, man. I got a couple steps up. This is Acts 14 and 22, confirming the souls of the disciples and exhorting them to continue in the faith, and that we must, through much tribulation, enter into the kingdom of the Heavenly Father.
Con.
So
There you go. Go ahead.
the who the brother was mentioning, T.D. Jakes, Joel Osteen, are these guys suffering tribulation, man?
Nope.
All right, you're just your neighborhood church pastor. Is he suffering any tribulation?
Matter of fact, you know, Creflo Dollar, I was reading up on him. His whole doctrine is prosperity. You know, why do you think his name is Creflo Dollar? You know, and it was kind of funny because I went into the Urban Dictionary and they used his name in a sentence. They said, "Hey man, I ain't got the Creflos for that, man. I ain't got the Creflos to pay for that, man." That's what they was using. You think you can loan me a few Creflos, man? You know, so that's all foolishness. You know, those guys aren't true prophets. Their message is not from the scripture.
They just don't fit the characteristics of the prophets, man.
God.
The characteristics are. Here's another one. Mind if I grab this one?
Bring
too?
it out, huh? We got
This is Acts
Spirit.
15 and 26. Men that have hazarded their lives
Right.
for the name of Yahweh Shai Hamashiach.
God. And we've had brothers that have gotten stabbed by lesbians because they were offended at the truth. You know what I mean? In this very camp, you know. We've had brothers who have gotten spit on, who have had piss thrown at them.
Yep.
You know, we've had all kinds of shit, insults. You know, left and right.
Con.
See, shot at. You name it. The camps have dealt with a lot of this hazard.
And that's only our camp, man. Imagine,
That's just our camp. Yeah.
imagine all the camps put together. You got a lot of stories out there, man.
Oh.
Can I grab one more, brother?
Con. It's all the spirit, bro.
This is Acts 17 and 6. Another characteristic of what will be happening unto the prophets, man, and what was happening. All throughout the whole Bible, you don't ever see prophets being set up on a throne and people
God.
kissing their feet and
That's right.
throwing them gumdrops and
They're thrown in prison usually. you
Yo,
know?
Jeremiah was held
We may be
upside down in a
prison.
well, man. I mean, I don't like the dark as it. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like having the lights off at night and whatnot. You know what I mean? You'd be able to move around and not get spotted. But if you've ever been in a cave or something and turned out all the lights, man, that's a terrifying thing, man. They put Jeremiah upside down in a well. You know how dark that
God.
shit probably was? And
God.
you're upside down, man. Your blood's rushing through your head. You're having crazy thoughts.
And that's why it says earlier we were reading, hey, these people are going to be amazed and so far beyond what they looked for because they're not expecting us to be the men of Yahweh, you know? That's
Nope.
why they mock us, man. That's why they scoff us. Go ahead, huh?
Con. This is the Acts 17 and 6. And when they found them not, they drew Jason and certain brethren unto the rulers of the city, saying, These men, or these that have turned the world upside down, are come hither also. Whom and the world is talking about is
It's
the
Israel, right?
Con, basically the world that they had, that was among them at that time, man. I mean, you had Rome in power, so Rome structured and programmed everybody according to their will.
Con. Just like us right now in America, you know?
Yep.
We're upside down compared to what everybody else is teaching and believing. And
Yep.
because why? Because we're the light of the nation of Israel.
Yep.
Israel's in darkness, all right?
Yeah, so we're up here to deprogram you, man.
And
That's
we're
really what
we're
here to do.
going against the grain, man. We're
Yep.
not speaking the popular words of the masses, you know?
Yep.
We don't have soft words for you. If it's written harsh, then we're gonna deliver it harsh.
Yep.
You know?
And that's what, and the through the Spirit, the brother started out with the scripture and wisdom of Solomon. That those how does it go? Those that they stood behind those that oppressed them with great
Affliction.
with great boldness.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, before those that afflicted him.
Uh-huh.
And the reason why is because we're turning through the Spirit, man. We're turning the world upside down. All right, the world that you know.
Yeah.
Con, we're revealing the beast. We're telling you who the devil is. You know, we're telling the people who they truly are as a nation. You know, and Israelites are not ready for that, man.
Yep. It says, whom Jason hath received, and these all do contrary to the decrees of Caesar, saying that there is another king, one Yahushai, and they troubled the people and the rulers of the city when they heard these things, and when they had taken security of Jason and of the others, they let them go. So they really couldn't, at the end of the day, man, they couldn't find anything to hem them up on. But they pulled them aside, and they were getting ready to mess them up, man. And eventually they did. All of the disciples end up dying, man. I don't think there's one disciple that doesn't. The only one
that made it the latest was John on Patmos, right?
John known as the John the Revelator, man.
Con.
And he still, I mean, he had one of the worst deaths. You got put on an island and just left there.
Con. And he had
You're
all
over here.
those visions.
You seen
But that
Castaway.
trouble, if he wouldn't have went through that trouble on Patmos, he wouldn't have received
Hey,
that vision.
If he didn't take heed to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, man, then he would have lived a prosperous life among Rome.
Con, you and in the scriptures you have many accounts of men turning from their riches, turning from their nobleness.
Moses.
Exactly, Moses. You know, and humbling themselves
Choosing
to
to
this
suffer.
truth.
Yep.
That's what you got to do, man. That's why it's not for everybody, man. Especially like the brother said, Jake is prideful, man. Jake's ain't gonna. How many? There's only 4 of us out here, man. You know how many Jakes are in Colorado? You know,
Yep.
That's right.
it's not for everyone, man. Go ahead, Ak.
On wisdom.
Chapter 5, yeah.
Con.
I think we're on 4, right?
Verse 4. We fools, wisdom of Solomon
Did you already bring up
5,
Chronicles?
4.
Mhm.
We fools accounted his life madness and his end to be without honor. How?
Yeah, they count us to be madmen, you know. They think this is madness to be out here in the snow, you know, on a Sunday. They're all in a warm church, you know, up the street over at the Roman Catholic Church, or their Christian churches, or whatever denomination, you know, because it's all false doctrine, you know. It's all you know, drunk off of women and wine, you know.
Right.
You know, wine being the doctrine, women being the well, both of it being the doctrine, but the wine being that influence. You know, when you drink wine, you might feel a little tipsy. Well, you're drinking this wine over here at these false churches. Well, hey, you're going to be tipsy and you're not going to receive the truth.
That's right.
You know.
That's right. This is verse 5. How is he numbered among the children of Yahweh?
And the children, actually, that should be sons, right? Because children in Hebrew, it actually means sons, all right? So you want to read that saying sons, brother? Because this is for the men of Israel, who are the Israelite prophets and saints. Go ahead.
How is he numbered among the sons of Yahweh? And his lot is among the saints.
Con. So all these madmen that you people think are crazy and low lifes, you know, well, guess what? We're actually the saints in Yahweh's eyes, all right? And to prove it's only the nation of Israel, Ak, you want to bring out that Psalm 148:14?
This is Psalms chapter 148, verse 14. He also exalted the horn of his people and the praises of all his saints, even of the children of Israel, a people near unto him. Praise ye.
And it's the sons of Israel, right? So you want to change that word children to sons when you read it off?
Psalms chapter 148, verse 14. He also exalted the horn of his people, the praises of his saints, even the sons of Israel.
God, and we're the horn because why? We're out here lifting our voice like a trumpet, all right? We're out here warning the people about this wrath that Yahweh is about to bring down, starting out with the house of Israel. He's going to use Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, to put wrath on his own people first. All right, and then when Yahweh Shai comes, well, hey, guess what? We already read it. The prophets are getting taken up, and all the 2/3 and the heathen are going to die in that fire, man. That thermonuclear fire.
That's right.
A people near unto him, praise ye the Most High, Lord Yahweh.
Khan. A people near unto him, because there's no other nation except Israel who has kept the laws, the precepts, and the commandments in the history of mankind. All right? It's always been about Israel, man, and it's still about Israel. You know? And we're reading you and teaching you that, hey, this thing is not for everybody. It's not for all the nations like the white man tells you. You know, the so-called white man, the Edomite. You know? He's just a big blasphemous liar. That's what blasphemy means, lie. You know, he's lying to you, telling you that it's everybody's going to join hands and go to heaven. They're going to be in shackles, man.
That's right. That's right!
You want to keep going, Akko, on the...
Wisdom?
Yeah.
Con, I got you right.
You got Matthew 5:12 and then Mark 16.
This is verse 7. We wearied ourselves in the way of wickedness and destruction. Yea, we have gone through deserts where there lay no way. But as for the way of the Lord, we have not known it.
Gone, and these people don't know the way of the Lord. You know, that's why they're still in their darkness. That's why they're still, you know, doing all their heathen shit, you know?
That's right. That's so right.
God, go ahead,
Oh,
Ak.
Salak, Ak.
Oh, you good?
What hath pride profited us, or what good hath riches with our vaunting brought us?
Gone. Well, that's what's gonna be. Questions gonna be asked when they're dealing with that day of wrath. You know, what has their riches? What good is that for them? You know, what they've invested in? You know, because they're putting their investment in calling on Jesus Christ. You know, their investment is in darkness. All right, it's not gonna help them in the day of wrath. Go ahead.
Verse
9.
Come on. 9. All those things are passed away like a shadow in a post that has hasted by. And as a ship that passeth over the waves of the water, which when it is gone by, the trace thereof cannot be found.
2 Ezra 6.
Neither the pathway of the keel in the waves, or when a bird hath flown through the air, there is no token of her way to be found, but the light air being beaten with the stroke of her wings and parted with the violent noise and motion of them is passed through, and therein afterwards no sign where she went is to be found.
Khan, so Yahweh is comparing these heathen and these 2/3 to shit it's like a shadow that passes, or a bird that flies through the air. There's no trace of it after it flies by.
That's right.
You know, there's nothing after that, you know? So that's the same thing as these heathen and these 2/3, man. You're gonna be like, where the fuck them heathen go? You know? Like,
That's right.
It didn't even matter. They didn't even matter. They were insignificant, right? It's not going to matter. Yahweh only dealing with 144,000 of his elect and the people that hearken to the truth that they bring. All right, that 1/3 of Israel. All right, all you heathen nations, man, you have no salvation, man. Don't let the white man, the so-called white man, fool you, man.
The best thing that's coming to you, man, is us coming into power anyway.
Khan,
That's right.
Khan, and we're gonna beat these laws and commandments and statutes in you, man.
That's right.
You know. And you okay? You want to bring that up?
God. This is 2nd Ezra 6 and 55. 55 is where you want to say?
55 and 56.
God. All this have I spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou madest the world for our sakes.
Meaning the Israelites.
As for the other people, which also come of Adam.
See, just because you come from Adam, well, we're telling you about the fate of the other nations that come from Adam. Because the only nation that Yahweh is dealing with is Israel. The so-called black man, the so-called Native American man, and the so-called Hispanic man. That's the only ones that Yahweh gives a shit about, all right?
Yep, and some of you, and you speckled birds, man.
God. And that's why it's so hard for y'all to believe this truth, because you've been taught lies that God loves everybody. What's that song? Red, brown, yellow, black, and white. They're all precious in his sight. Is a big ass lie. All right. Well, I guess it's not, because there's confusion of faces, but
That's where it gets spiritual.
But when it comes, but when it's literal, hey, he's not dealing with the Moabites, who are the so-called Chinese. He's not dealing with the Ishmaelites, who are the so-called Arabs.
If
you know?
if your seed goes back to Israel, man, you're being dealt with.
Khan,
right.
through the seed of your father,
Yep.
which there's no such thing
Yeah,
as a
yeah,
seed
not
of
your
your
egg.
mother.
Right. The egg, yeah.
Right.
I gotta accept that to you.
Con. It says, finishing on
start
verse
the topic
56. Con, it says, as for the other people which also come of Adam, thou hast said that they are nothing, but be like unto spittle,
That they're special.
but be like unto spittle,
See?
spit, and has likened them as the abundance. It's like it. Let me reread that part. And has likened the abundance of them unto a drop that falleth from a vessel.
Khan. So this white man, this Edomite, he's been lying to you, man. He's been telling you you're important, that you're significant, that God loves you. You know, but the brother
You've
just
been filling
read.
his pockets, man.
You've been. That's why he's got that Benz. You know,
What
that's
an
why
easy
he's
job,
got
man.
the big
I'll
house.
just tell you some nice things and you give me your money.
You're not
Yeah,
gonna
that's
you're
what
not
they
gonna
do.
scoff and mock the guy who's telling you peaceable words, soft words in your ears. You know, he's been lying. This Edomite has been lying to you, and this includes you too, Jake. You're part of this deception. You know.
Well,
So-
you gotta understand too, man, that these guys run the world, man. And as long as they keep you simple and stupid, then hey, that's all they need, man. As long as they keep you following your grape juice doctrine, all right, and basically not caring what they're doing, then that's all they want, man.
And, you know, and really the nation of Israel, the 2/3, they're willfully ignorant.
Yep.
You know what I mean? They
He ain't going nowhere.
they don't. You could teach this truth to them and even read it to them, and next week they'll still be in their Catholic churches.
Oh yeah, they'll just
know?
keep doing it, and they'll even agree with you. They're, oh man, you show them in the scriptures. Oh man,
Con.
they'll have nothing to say against it, and then they'll be back.
I had a guy is on a different level. It was on football, the NFL football, because that's all fixed and rigged and set
Uh-huh.
up. You know, and I was telling him a little bit about that, you know, and he even said, he goes, look, Steve, don't tell me about this because I enjoy it so much, all right? I don't want to know about what you're
Yep.
saying.
Willfully
that-
ignorant.
That's the same thing that these Jakes do with these scriptures, man.
That's right.
Hey, it's funny, man. I was listening to my mother-in-law talk to my woman the other day, and she was telling my woman, she's like, I don't care what's going on. I don't care what it is. She's like, ignorance is bliss, and I want to die happy. She's like, I don't want
she
to
wants
know.
to stay blissful.
I don't
you
want
know?
wisdom. She was saying that. I don't want wisdom. I don't want to know nothing.
God,
I
they
just
don't-
want to live
they
my
don't
simple
wanna
life,
suffer, bro.
making these guys more rich, and then I'll die and be happy.
They don't want to suffer, and until Jacob's trouble is in front of their face, they're not going to believe a thing we say, man.
and that's when they're gonna be running around like chickens with their head cut off, man, because
God.
they were living ignorantly.
You got something?
Right.
Now they don't have no hiding to do.
It
You got a
just-
comment?
Yeah, just my ex. That's the whole reason our relationship went downhill, because she's the same way. She didn't want to
Yeah.
know nothing
Yeah.
about the Bible. She didn't want to be near
And that's
it.
it,
Oh,
man.
they
When you're
don't, bro.
dealing with these women, man, give them a little bit, but you don't need to be
And that's
spilling your heart to. What does it
they-
say? Not to not give your heart over unto a woman, man.
God.
Right.
All right,
Your
you don't need to
mind,
be giving
you know?
them too much, man. You don't need to be
You don't
telling
want
them
to lose your
every
mind
time.
over a woman.
Yeah, every time you're watching some TV show, because every time we watch a TV show, our mind's gonna be on the truth.
Right.
You don't need to be breaking everything down to them. You don't need to be telling them, hey, this was on the news, this is going on. Hey, they just put out a thing saying that Hebrew Israelite families are gonna be torn apart.
That shows you
It's the
how.
last thing you
that
wanna tell
shows
them,
you
man.
how
They're
wicked.
You're gonna have them on Job's woman's level before persecution even came.
They're already beyond that, because these women, these Jake women, they, like the brother said, his ex-woman didn't want to hear the truth. She didn't want no part of it. Just like even my ex, because I have a daughter with her, so my daughter learns a little bit, and she may take a little bit to her mother's house, And then her mom basically, like we read earlier, oh, your dad's crazy. He's madman. What does he mean the white man can't go to heaven?
Yep.
What does he mean the white man's going to be a slave in heaven? You know, the so-called white, Edomite is his biblical name. But they can't absorb that truth, man. You know, because they're willfully ignorant. But guess who she's putting money, like the brother said, every Sunday? She's putting money in Creflo Dollar's, you know, wallet.
Yep,
you know,
she's giving him some Creflo dollars.
she's giving him the Creflos, you know. So our people are willfully ignorant, man. We're living in the information age. Which one? Somebody grab me. Knowledge shall increase. Daniel.
Con.
I think is it in 9 or 7? One of.
It's the last chapter.
I can paraphrase it.
Con.
It's the last chapter, Rock. Like
So,
one of the last
so we're
verses.
living in the They call this the information age because we have all the information in our cell phones, right? And everybody has a cell phone, man. I've been on 16th Street Mall. I've seen bums with cell phone, man.
I
You
know,
know,
I've seen that a lot too.
they literally they have cell phone. Everyone has this information. So for you not to know these truths and to understand what we're saying out here, you're literally a willfully ignorant bastard, really.
You know what verse it is, Ak?
Meaning you don't have a
Check
father.
real quick, bro.
Your father is not Yahweh is not your father, man. You literally are a bastard. All right.
I'm in 12. I just don't know the verse.
Con, yeah, it's verse 4.
Con.
Daniel.
Daniel's 12:4. But thou, O Daniel, shut up thy words, the words, and seal the book, even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased.
Khan. Knowledge shall increase, and many running to and fro, meaning all these Israelites, they're going to all these different false doctrine churches,
Yep.
putting money in the pastor's wallet, but the knowledge is increased, man. We all have a research tool in your hand, you know. So there's no excuse not to understand this truth or to believe this truth. It just means it wasn't given to you. Yahweh didn't give you the faith. He didn't give you he didn't lift the veil off your eyes,
That's
right?
That's what it is.
Go ahead and read on the chapter 5.
Con. You want me to?
We're on 12, brother.
12. Con. Or like as when an arrow is shot at a mark, it parteth the air, which immediately cometh together again, so that a man cannot know where it went through.
Khan, so even like when an arrow shoots through the air, pretty soon these arrows are going to be missiles, you know? But this is talking about just a regular arrow. When it goes through the air, it parts the air, but the air comes right back together, and then nobody knew that arrow was there. That's how. That's what Yahweh is comparing you 2/3 to. That's what he's comparing you heathen to. All right.
Ooh.
You're insignificant, man. Nobody's even gonna know or care what the fuck happened to you. You know.
Straight up.
Oh,
Go ahead, Ak.
Con. Even so, we in like manner, as soon as we were born, began to draw near to our end, and had no sign of virtue to show, but were consumed in our own wickedness.
Khan, as soon as you're born, you're going to be consumed in your own wickedness. The only difference, the men of Yahweh, we're going to get some righteousness in it because we're going to repent and we're going to come back to our power. And we're going to come back and we're going to value and love these scriptures. We're going to become obedient. All right, that's what love is.
That shows you the
All right?
mercy of the Most High, man, because the book of Sirach tells you that if you're a bastard child, meaning that your mom got popped by another man before you actually came into the world, then there's no chance for you, man. There's no repentance. And how many of us? I mean, I could speak for myself, man. I know my mother wasn't a virgin when my father had gotten with her.
Khan.
You know, I mean,
Khan, we're in
how
Babylon,
many
so
more of us?
that's the norm. in
Especially
Babylon,
this
you
new
know?
generation, man. Each new generation just gets more and more wickedness is poured upon them, man.
Khan, generation of vipers, you know.
Yep.
You know? Khan, we're in a wicked world, and that's why, like the brother said, it's a huge mercy for us to receive this truth. It's a huge mercy for us to even be given this truth, right? Because we were wicked as hell, you know.
Yep.
Now we have now we have hope,
That's right.
you know. All right, go ahead. 14.
For the hope of the ungodly is like dust that is blown away with the wind, like a thin froth that is driven away with the storm.
So a froth is like a suds or foam, all right? You know, when it's storming, you may see a little bubbles or froth, and then it just gets swept away. It means nothing, you know. That's what he's comparing the hope of the 2/3 and the heathen to, you know. The shit's just gonna, there's gonna be bubbles swept away in water, you know. Insignificant.
And like as the smoke which is dispersed here and there with the tempest, and passeth away as the remembrance of a guest that tarrieth but a day.
Yeah, it's comparing you to just a guest you had over your house for one day. Maybe that was 15 years ago. You don't even remember that guest came over. You know, it's like that's what Yahweh's comparing you 2/3 and you heathen to. All right, you're insignificant, man. And you want to feel so important, and you want to have zeal for the Bible, but your zeal goes to Jesus Christ, who's a demon, and you're not raising the name of Yahweh Shai, you know. So rightfully so, you're gonna be dealt with.
That's
on the
right.
day of wrath, you know. Khan, go ahead, Ak.
But the righteous, I'm on 15, right?
Yep.
But the righteous live forevermore. Their reward also is with the Lord, and the care of them is with the Most High.
Khan, and the righteous, this is a righteous thing for us to come out here and teach these scriptures, you know. And not like Creflo Dollar and them are teaching it, you know. But in the truth, we're mimicking Yahweh Shai's ways. We're mimicking our elder apostles, all right?
That's right.
You know? Ak, you want to grab that Matthew 5:12?
This is Matthew chapter 5, verse 12. Rejoice and be exceedingly glad, for great is your reward in heaven. For so prosecuted they the prophets
Persecuted,
which
yeah.
were before you.
Khan. So we should rejoice whenever we get mocked and scoffed. Rejoice, because that's showing you, hey, you're probably a prophet, because these people are mocking and scoffing you. If they weren't, then you'd just be the same category as Creflo Dollar, T.D. Jakes, Joel Osteen. You know, they're not getting mocked or scoffed. They're getting praises all over, left and right. You know, they're getting exalted. People like today, the girl on the social media, she was like, "Oh, I wish I could meet this guy." You know what I mean? These people, those are characteristics of false prophets. You know, if you're gonna be exalted by the people and praised by the people, then that means you're probably a false prophet, man. Not probably, you are. But you want to read that one more time, Ak? Just so we can.
So
sink it in their
Matthew
heads.
chapter 5, verse 12. Rejoice and be exceedingly glad, for great is your reward in heaven. For so prosecuted they the prophets which were before you.
Khan. So when you get stabbed out here for teaching this truth, right, by a lesbian, or you get piss thrown at you, or you get spit on you, you know, yeah, carnally we're gonna get pissed off about those things, right? But then the script says, hey, rejoice, man. Guess what? You're doing the right thing. You're preaching the truth. Go ahead, you got a sep. Go ahead.
John 15:19. If ye were of the world would love his own. But ye are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world. Therefore the world hateth you.
Khan. And there it is. You know, if we were of the world, like T.D. Jakes, Creflo Dollar, Joel Osteen, then the world would love us, right? Those guys are all admired and loved and praised and worshipped, you know. But we're hated, you know. People hate the truth, man. People hate what the message we're bringing. We are the messengers. We're the prophets, you know, and they hate us for that.
That's right.
You know. What was the last part of that, Ak, that you read?
John 15:19. Let me grab it real quick back.
Khan.
Spirit. John 15:19. But I have chosen you out of the world. Therefore the world hateth you.
Khan, but I have chosen you out of the world because what? Literally, the prophets were out of this world, man. Just like the chariots. What do people say when they see that? Oh, it was something out of this world. You know? Yahweh Shai is going to come from the fourth dimension, man. You know? We're not normal out here. You're right. We're not. We're out of this world. And when we get taken up in those chariots, you're going to know who had the truth. You know? Go ahead.
God. This is the Acts chapter 5 and verse 40, just to show you, kind of just to tie in with the previous precept in Matthew. It says, "And to him that agreed,
Grab that one.
and when they had called the apostles and beaten them," see, they called the apostles and what? They worshiped them. They gave them love. It says, "Called the apostles and beaten them.
Con.
They commanded that they should not speak or teach in the name of Yahushua, and let them go. And they departed from the presence of the council, rejoicing that they were counted worthy to suffer the shame for his name." And what was that a fulfillment of, man? What was that, Matthew 5 and 12? He said, when you're persecuted, rejoice and be exceedingly glad, man. This is what this said, that they rejoiced. After this happened, they took an ass whooping for pushing this truth. They rejoiced, man. They didn't get mad and start talking shit about the Romans' mom.
No.
They didn't start, turning around and throwing rocks at them, man. They rejoice. It says,
Because a man of the Lord is going to endure, which that word endure means hard.
Yep.
We're going to be made hard, all right? Like in the world, you say, oh, that dude's a hard motherfucker, right? Well, hey, that's the characteristic of a prophet. You're going to have to be a hard motherfucker because you're going to have to endure some shit, man. And we don't know what's coming to us. That's why we're in these scripts.
Mm-hmm.
Jacob's trouble comes, hey, we're gonna go through hell just like the heathen,
God.
But we're gonna have stability. Go ahead.
It says, "And daily in the
That's
temple
the difference.
and in every house they cease not to teach and preach Yahushua HaMashiach."
Con. And no matter what persecution we go through, no matter what kind of bullshit we get stabbed, piss thrown at us, whatever, we're not going to stop teaching about Yahushua. That's the characteristic of a man of Yahweh. Go ahead.
Just to
Kind
verify
of
what
the
you
elect.
said, Elder Brother. 2 Timothy 2 and 3. "Thou therefore endure hardness as a good soldier of Yahushua HaMashiach."
Yep. Endure what? Softness?
"Thou therefore endure hardness as a good soldier of Yahushua HaMashiach."
Con, because we could have been like, we could all said, hey, Ak, I'm not coming to camp today. It's cold, too cold.
Yeah.
There's too
not
much
trying to
snow
get
on the
frostbite.
ground,
I'm never doing that again. I got frostbite on my toe.
God, like IUIC, the brother ran into him last week. It was a little bit good weather last week, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was
I wonder if they're out there today, and I really can't speak on it, but
Yeah, it was because I wasn't even wearing a coat, actually.
right, and
Yeah.
I doubt they're out there today. You gotta do this thing continuously. You can't just be a fair weather Israelite.
Fair weather is
That's a new one.
Con. Where are we at, Ak? On the 5?
we should be at like
16?
16.
Yep.
"Therefore, this is Wisdom of Solomon 5 and 16. "Therefore shall they receive a glorious kingdom and a beautiful crown from the Lord's hands. For with his right hand shall he cover them, and with his arm shall he protect them."
Con. So we're not doing this thing just for nothing, We're out here because we're trying to earn our crown, man, with Yahushua. We're trying to earn our place in that kingdom that's gonna come.
That's right.
You think we're doing this for our fucking health? No, we have our eye on a special prize that you 2/3 and you heathen, you can't see this prize because you don't have the faith to see this prize, all right, or to believe this prize is coming, all right. Ak, you want to bring out that Mark?
This is Mark.
And wait, I'm sorry. Read that right hand arm, the right hand.
I got you, Art. "Therefore, this is Wisdom of Solomon. Wisdom of Solomon 5 and 16. "Therefore shall they receive a glorious kingdom and a beautiful crown from the Lord's hand. For with his right hand shall he cover them, and with his arm shall he protect them."
And we're about to find out what that right hand is that's going to cover us and protect us. Go ahead, Ak.
This is Mark 16 and 19.
Yep.
"So then after the Most High Lord has spoken unto them, he was received up into heaven and sat on the right hand of Yahweh power."
Con.
Do you want me to go
Is that
on to
19?
first?
No,
Yeah.
that's good. I just wanted to get the point on what the right hand was. So Yahushua is the right hand that's going to protect us. How is he going to protect us? He's going to come back and destroy Esau with those chariots. Because those chariots are coming back to do two things, right? To destroy and to save the elect. All right. Khan, go ahead, Rock. Back
Oh.
in 5.
He shall take to him his jealousy for complete armor, and make the creature his weapon for the revenge of his enemies. He shall put on righteousness.
Yeah, his jealousy for the complete armor, man, because he's jealous for what's been going on here on the planet Earth. What did it say, that we're turning the world upside down? That we're actually turning it right side up, man.
right.
But in the eyes of the world, it's being turned upside down because this is all they know.
That's right.
Khan, because we're going against the grain of the world.
Yo.
The rest of the world is all up in the TD Jakes, all these false doctrines, man. Creflos, Joyce Meyer. You know, that shows you how out of order these people are. They'll go to a church with a woman leading the congregation before they'll come to greet the men of the Lord with welcoming hands. You know, they'd rather go to they'd rather be out of order. You know, women aren't supposed to lead a congregation. You know, and this world's so soft. When just that statement alone offends people.
That's right.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you're living in a world, man, where you got to analyze every single word you say. Because anything that you say, especially if you're in a high place in this society, man, anything that you say can and will be used against you, man.
And I saw that too, because I started reading up on all these fake televangelists. And what's his name? TD Jakes. He says, I don't agree with the homosexuality, but I'm starting to accept it more. You know,
man.
so showing you that he's not that's not enduring. You know, he's not going to be persecuted. It's like if he was a real man of the Lord, he would be willingly glad to be persecuted for fucking insulting these homosexuals.
Yeah, you even had
Right.
the lady that wrote the Harry Potter books, man. She was willing to get up and accept some persecution for denying homosexuality, man. They were even talking about burning her books.
Yeah.
and she didn't even say nothing against them specifically. She just co-signed to somebody who was. You know, say, oh yeah, you know, that's a
And
good point.
Esau
I agree.
Edom,
Whatever.
the white man, the so-called white man, he knows what's best to deceive, right? He's going to use a big old Judite with a gray beard, you know, but this guy's soft, man. I started watching one of his sermons, and he was talking. He was on the subject of fire, right? He said, if this church right now started going in flames, I'd be like a 5-year-old girl. I'd be running, screaming. You don't want me in that condition. Yeah. And you know, it was spiritual. He said that because he's going to be in that fire running like a 5-year-old girl. You know what I'm saying? And that was the spirit that made him say that. Because when the men of the Lord go and watch one of your fake videos, we see right through the bullshit, man.
That's right.
And we know what's coming to you. You know? But TD Jakes, he's not going to endure. No, he's going to soften up and say, oh, okay, I'm starting to accept these homosexuals.
So if they're teaching you all this acceptance, man, what are you going to do when the chip comes out? You're going to accept that too.
God, and that doesn't show balance, you know. If you accept everything, you know, like the elder was saying, you know, if you meet a person that loves everybody, that's impossible, right? You know, you can't. It's impossible to love everybody, man. Yep. No, there's people you hate. There's people that you could deal with. That's balance, you know. But if you're sitting there saying, "Oh, I love everybody," like these Christians, these phony ass Christians.
But remember 9/11 though.
Right. Khan, do you want to go ahead and read 17 or 18? Sorry.
Call not. Wisdom of Solomon 5:18. He shall put on righteousness as a breastplate and true judgment instead of an helmet. He shall.
Right there. Go ahead and bring out that scepter, Doc. Read that out loud one more time, please.
Call not. He shall put on.
1 Samuel 17. After he reads this, it's just a precept.
He shall put on righteousness as a breastplate and true judgment instead of an helmet.
Khan, meaning this is our protection, right? We read about it. Yahweh Shai, the right hand, he's going to cover us with that protection. And we're not going to need swords or helmets. This is our spiritual sword, but we're not going to need a battlefield helmet that you would wear in a battlefield. We're not going to need a shield. We're not going to need any type of weapons, a gun.
Man, if you're the elect, man, you don't need none of that. But if you're a 2/3, you better be doing some sit-ups, man. You better be doing something.
We're putting righteousness as our breastplate, right? These words, these scriptures, you know, even if we die for this truth, it's going to be a righteous thing if an elect man dies for this truth. And Yahweh, you better believe he gets pissed off when these wicked ass heathen 2/3 put hands on his men.
Yep.
You know, that pisses him off. Let's read that in
1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 38. And Saul armed David with his armor, and he put a helmet of brass upon his head.
And this is when David was about to go fight Goliath. You know, Saul gave him all his armor and his helmet and his shield. Go ahead.
And also he armed him with a coat of a mail, and David girded his sword upon his armor, and he ascended to go, for he had not proved it. And David said unto Saul, I cannot go with these, for I have not proven them. And David put them off of him.
Khan. So David was a righteous man, you know. He said, hey man, I don't need your shield. I don't need your breastplate. I don't need your helmet. I don't need your sword. Those things ain't proven. But my righteousness and my faith, that is proven. That's why you don't see us out here with guns and knives and weapons. We have our scriptures.
That's right.
All right, this is where we put our faith in. This is what we trust in. All right, so it don't matter. There may be a day when we get this whole camp gets mobbed or bum rushed or whatever. You know what I mean? Yeah. Hey, if they kill us, then hey, that's more power to us, man.
Mm-hmm.
You can kill the body, but you can't kill the soul.
Just going
That's
in-
right.
Into like a little comment, just kind of what you're bringing out, and it goes to show you there too that, you know, he could, the Most High could stop dealing with you because he had stopped dealing with Saul.
God, you get taken out of this truth like Saul did, you know. Because Saul at one time he was a prophet, you know, and then he fell out because hey, he's like these
he didn't
the
listen to the
ones that
commandment.
weren't sown on solid ground, you know.
Yep.
They didn't have the foundation, you know.
That's why he was giving them his shield and, you know, his
God,
armor
he's like,
to
here, bro,
give
you're
it.
gonna need this. You're gonna need, yeah, you're gonna need this.
It
You
shows a
know?
lack of faith.
God, lack
his
of
part.
faith.
Yeah.
And what did David say? Hey, I don't need all that, man. Shit's not proven, but I know what is proven. That's just like in Jacob's trouble. People maybe want to give us guns and to protect ourselves. Hey, that's not proven to us. But guess what is proven? With this hedge, this scriptures. We've been out here doing this, some of us, a couple years now, you know, and that's the proof. We've seen the hedge, you know, we've seen the protection.
That's right.
Go ahead, read on.
Okay. I got a step 2 for that if you want it, brother.
Go ahead, bring it out. Bring it out.
Ephesians 6, and just real quick, because it's a few of them, but 6 and 11. Put on the whole armor of Yahweh, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places.
Khan, principalities are Esau and his policies and his doctrines, you know, and high places. Where's that? These guys.
Okay.
Read that last part again.
Con. Got you, Rob. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places.
Khan, and that's these guys. High places, spiritual wickedness, the rulers of the earth, right?
Man, what does that
Job
mean?
9:24. You want to bring that up? But so what it is you know, these guys here, these elite, they're pushing all these vibrations on America, showing you know, democracy and yeah, we can read it out. Women's rights, household disorder, homosexuality, bloodshed, war. Christianity is a principality and a stronghold on our people. You know, democracy, pollution, the chemtrails. All the brothers were sick, you know, because of these damn chemtrails. You know.
Yeah, so you're not actually, that doesn't mean that we're going to go and have an arm wrestle with these guys or you know, have some kind of deadliest warrior.
Right, we're not going to have a showdown with them, you know.
Yeah, but we're battling what they put in place, man. What did it say? We're turning things back upside down or back upside right.
God, and really we are battling them because we're out here revealing and you know, showing you who the wicked is, you know. So spiritually, it is a battle, you know.
Yep.
Go ahead.
And I got that because I just wanted to affirm what y'all are saying, because they try to make it a carnal thing, but it's a spiritual thing. Stand therefore having your loins girt about with truth, and having the breastplate of righteousness, and your feet shod with the preparation of gospel and peace.
Khan, and that's a beautiful verse, man. Of the breastplate of righteousness, we've been bringing that out on different precepts, you know. Because before I was in the truth, I had never even knew what a precept was when I was in Catholicism or in Christianity.
Yeah, me either.
Half of these Christians, ask them what a precept is. They don't even know it. Not even more than half.
Yeah.
They don't know what the hell that is. You know, you're supposed to read this Bible not like a regular book. You're supposed to like a puzzle, man. Precept upon precept. Here a little, there a little.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
had one pastor came up to me at work and he was like, "Hey, show me a nugget," because he saw me reading the scriptures on my break, and I was like, "A nugget? What are you talking about, a nugget?" And he was like, "Oh, well, let me show you." And I showed him my Bible, and he pulls out a scripture that was talking about that his love will never leave Israel. He's like, "You see?" And I was like, "Yeah, but that's talking about Israel."
Yeah.
but that's what he was calling it, was a nugget, comparing it to gold.
And that's
Of course,
why
an
these
Edomite would do that.
Christians, they don't understand the Bible, because the precepts actually give you a deeper understanding, you know. But the Edomites, the so-called white man who leads these churches, they don't even know what a precept is.
That's right.
They can't break these scriptures. That's why they have no knowledge of the truth. Because when you break down the precepts, like the one brother brought out Samuel. He talking about David and the helmet and the breastplate. And then we were in Wisdom of Solomon, bringing out that same topic, subject, but it was in a different book, showing you got to line those precepts up, man, to get the deeper understanding. And then what was the last one you just read out of? What was that out of?
Ephesians 6:15.
And Ephesians, you know. So we brought out 3 different books, but they're all on the same page,
And I got you on another set, Doc.
you know. So go ahead, Ak.
Just real quick for the spirit. Isaiah 28:10, for precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line, here a little and there a little.
Khan, there you go. So that's what it is, man. If you don't read this Bible in precepts, how do you expect to get understanding? When we were in darkness, when we were dealing with these false women, meaning doctrines, we had no clue of those things, you know? And that's why we were reading it in darkness. We may have had the zeal, like a lot of these Christians and Catholics and all these false religions. You sit there and you have a zeal towards the truth, but your zeal is toward darkness. You know, your zeal is toward Jesus Christ. You know, so
Esau made his run.
God,
Your bar. Well said.
kind of like that one that one Jake that he became internet. He went viral. But what was he? Jesus
I hate
Christ!
that
Jesus
Oh, yeah.
Christ! Jesus Christ! Jesus! And he became a celebrity, right? A B-list celebrity. But why? He had zeal, but it's in darkness, you know. And you even have people like, oh, this guy's so awesome. Jakes, you know. This guy, man, he loves Jesus.
That's exactly what
That's
Esau
all he
wants,
does.
man.
He don't do
A
nothing.
perfect
Exactly.
monkey. Perfect monkey that just monkey see, monkey do, man.
But the men of the truth, we know that fool's gonna be destroyed, man.
Yo,
During the time of wrath, you know.
that's the creation of these guys, man.
God,
These guys would love every
That's their
single Jake
puppet.
to be running around on 4th of July screaming America.
right, right, and they do it. They do it, and they know how simple our people are, and they know that they know they have you eating out the palm of their hand.
Oh, yeah.
Jake, you know,
Yo,
you Israelites, you so-called blacks, so-called Native American, and so-called Hispanics. These men, they know they have you eating out. We're the only threat to them because they know we're not eating out of their hand.
they own everything, man. I was walking through the woods and it said you could only stay on the trails. So Esau came and took. They own the mountains too, man.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Everything.
yeah.
This park is theirs, man. This sidewalk is theirs.
They regulate everything, man.
Yo,
Esau is
this horse, man. I bet you Esau, if somebody spit on that, if one of the brothers spit on it or
It'd be-
something,
it'd be like
Esau could get us
jail.
get us hemmed up for it, man.
jail time.
Vandalizing.
Yep. That's why you got to. That's why you got to be using reason, man. Especially at this time, because Esau is watching your every move, man. You're
You got
about
that
to see more
Isaiah
videos
54,
chopped and screwed and played on the news
Isaiah
than
54,
than rap music, man.
Go ahead and read that next verse, Ak, number 19.
I got you, bro.
We're almost done through this chapter, and then
Come,
you
come,
can take it.
come.
he shall take holiness for an invincible shield.
Khan,
That's
Khan.
your ball.
He shall take holiness for an invincible shield. All right, that's what we're out here. This is holy, you know. We're not going with the rest of the world. All right, speaking soft words to you, telling you lies. You know, no, we're telling you truth, whether it offends you or not. You know, and it says this is an invincible shield, right? Because we're protected because of this work we're doing. But let's bring it out, Ak.
An invincible shield, man. There ain't no kryptonite for this shield.
Khan, right here.
This is Isaiah chapter 54, verse 17. No weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper, and every tongue that shall rise against thee in judgment thou shalt condemn. This is the heritage of the servants of the Most High Lord, and their righteousness is me, saith the Most High Lord.
Khan, and what does 16 say? Because I wanted that one, but I want to hear 16. I think that
This
one.
is Isaiah chapter 54, verse 16. Behold, I have created the smith that
Oh yeah.
bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument of Shalaki, instrument for his work, and I have created the
Waster.
waster to destroy.
Khan, so that's Yahweh saying, hey, he's given this technology to these Edomites. They've created the waster, meaning the nuclear missiles to destroy. And then read on.
No weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper, and every tongue that shall rise against thee is in judgment thou shalt condemn. This is the heritage of the servants of the Most High Lord, and the righteousness is of me, saith the Most High Lord Yahweh Yahweh Shai.
Khan.
That's right.
Khan. So Yahweh gave the Edomite the technology to create that nuclear missile. And you got all these Christians and all these bugged out Catholics walking around quoting that verse. No weapon formed against me shall prosper.
Get it tattooed on them.
You know, and they're idiots because
That's probably
guess
one
what?
of the more popular
This
tattoos.
This is dealing with the elect, not you fucking 2/3 and you heathen. Those weapons were created for you. All right.
That's why in Israel they're still running around with their heads cut off, basically like a chicken cut off, you know, with his head running around over there. And they're what were they doing? They were escorting that one guy out there in Israel to a bunker because of the missiles that were launched out there.
Khan.
And they're
Khan.
well, how could they sit there and continue to say that's for them when they still sit there in fear of all these weapons?
Khan. Yeah, and,
Yeah,
and
because
that
what they say, there'll be peace, man.
Khan. And that no weapon formed against you shall prosper. That applies to the men of Israel, man. The elect men of Israel, the prophets, and that 1/3 that hearkens to the truth. All right. So quit being in darkness and quit being a fucking idiot walking around with telling people no weapon shall formed against you shall prosper.
Yeah, because the Most High is going to jack you up, man.
Khan.
And everybody's going to know right then and there that that weapon prospered against you.
Yeah.
Khan. Because while we're out there, somebody bring out Isaiah 60. Actually, yeah, Isaiah 66:15. We got that coming. But go ahead, Ak, read on 20. But that invincible shield, that's dealing for the elect, man, and the 1/3 of Israel. This is a small number of people that are going to be saved in the day of wrath. It's not going to be like these Christians tell you, man, that everyone's going up to heaven, kumbaya, joining hands. You know?
Can I get
Yeah,
this
in a
real quick,
second.
Doc?
Come on, bring it out, bring it out. Hold
Proverbs
that, yeah.
26 and 27. Whosoever diggeth a pit shall fall therein, and he that rolleth a stone, it will return upon him.
Yep.
And that's Great Millstone.
Con. The you know, the people. There's going to be much more casualties and sacrificed than saved, man. Okay. So you keep listening to your Christian pastor, your pork chop eating pastor. He's lying to you, man.
And that shows you that Esau's devices are going to just fall upon his own head, man.
Khan,
So he's
just
digging
like-
a hole. He's making a whole agenda. We're gonna get the brothers in Colorado like this. We're gonna get the brothers in Miami this way. We're gonna get the elders and the apostles this way first and foremost. But guess what, man? All their plans are gonna fall upon them, man. And you know, through the Spirit, we know through the prophecies, a couple brothers are gonna lay their lives down for the name of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, man. But hey, through the Spirit, man, they ain't gonna get everybody. And even those that they get, all that they're gonna do is they're gonna give them a head start. They're giving them the the fast pass to the chariot, man.
That's right. That's mercy.
Yeah.
15, and read the
Well
16.
said,
And then Psalm
God,
68, 17.
call Yahweh
God.
Oh man, there is a little snowman over there.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't see that the whole
No,
time?
they took the time to put a scarf
Yeah,
on it and everything.
Yeah, yeah. so, you know, where we at? Let's see.
You want wisdom?
Yeah, we're on, what, 20?
Yeah, we're on 21.
Okay.
Oh, no, you're right. 20. You're right.
Go ahead, I can bring that out.
His severe wrath.
But just to make that point, you know, that 19, he shall take holiness for an invisible shield. All right? That's what this is, man. It's not a physical shield. It's an invisible shield right now. You know what I mean? But it's going to be very visible when we get protected by that right hand and then chariots come down and wreak havoc and destruction on Babylon, America.
That's right.
You know?
And you see all kind of miracles, man. I was telling that to the brother Zachariah that's crippled. I was like, man, the Most High might just use you just to pick you up right at the right moment, man. They might be giving him the chip like this, and then all of a sudden the needle breaks and he stands up, you know?
God, there's going to be some spiritual things that come upon the men of the Lord, you know? Go ahead, Aki, bring out your precept.
Okay. Then shall the right aiming thunderbolts go abroad. Salak.
Oh.
20. His severe wrath shall be sharpened for a sword, and the world shall fight with him against the unwise.
God.
Then shall the right aiming thunderbolts go abroad, and from the clouds, as from a well-drawn bow, shall they fly to the mark.
Khan, and what are those clouds? Ak, you want to grab Psalm 104 and 3?
I got you.
And then go ahead and read that, Isaiah. Read that out.
It's Isaiah chapter 66 and verse 17. 15. For behold, the Lord will come with fire and with his chariots like a whirlwind to render his anger with fury and to rebuke with flames of fire.
Khan, so because of the precepts and the elders, we have the knowledge of these words we're reading. All right? So we know what a chariot is and we know what a cloud is. You want to bring that out now?
Come, I got you up. This is Psalms 104 and 3.
This is dealing with Yahweh. It's talking about Yahweh right here.
Who layeth the beams of his chambers in the waters, who maketh the clouds his chariot, who walketh upon the wings of the wind.
Khan. So that's that beam that you always see in Esau's movies coming out of those chariots, those so-called UFOs. He layeth the beams in the waters, right? And in history, there's been many accounts of so-called UFOs, you know? But specifically, Christopher Columbus, he saw chariots when he made his journey. And what did he do? He had to take the water, right? Well, who do you think lays their beams from their chariots on the water? It's Yahweh through his clouds and his chariots. Bring that out again one more time so they have a better understanding now. 66:15. Huh?
Yeah, even Alexander the Greek.
Gone.
Yeah, he was following a chariot as well, man.
Gone. And even Northern Kingdom, when they came to the Americas, to Arsareth, you know,
This is
they were led by signs and wonders in the sky.
This is Isaiah 66 and 15.
The Red Sea, when Moses split the Red Sea, it was Yahweh that used the chariot to split that Red Sea. And when the laws were given to Moses, you know, the Mount Sinai shook, and the people were scared because they saw that big chariot over the mountain. You know.
Yeah, the chariot leading them by night, man.
Khan.
By day and night.
Isaiah 66:15. For behold, the Lord will come with fire and with his chariots like a whirlwind to render his anger with fury and his rebuke with flames of fire.
Khan, and we just brought out, you know, the chariots are going to be the salvation for some, and they're also going to be wreaking havoc on some. All right. And then Psalm 68:17.
This is Psalm chapter 68, verse 17. The chariots of Yahweh are 20,000, even thousands of angels, and the Lord is among them as in Sinai, and in the holy place.
Khan. So imagine that phenomenon. You know, people will get all like excited when they see one chariot. You know, imagine when there's 20,000s you know, and even more, really, you know. Imagine when there's that many chariots in the sky, man. Just take a moment and close your eyes and picture that thing, man. It's going to be a fearful thing for these heathen. Like we said earlier, they're going to be running from these chariots thinking it's an alien invasion, you know, a green alien invasion. No, it's Yahweh Shai and his angels,
That's right.
the messengers. And really, you know, there's always these sightings that people see of the so-called UFOs, and we know that those are angels. And what does the word angel mean? Messengers. So what are those UFOs doing? You're right, they are spying on your ass, Esau. They're coming down here. Oh shit, he set up his military force. He set up his space force. And they're like, what do? Take off in like lightning to go let Yahweh, hey, this is what's going on. You know, those are his eyes,
That's right.
and we're his mouth. You know, those chariots, they show up at the camps, right? Oh, matter of fact, Psalm 34:7 through the Spirit. But the chariots show up at the camps, man. We've seen them, and you know, the elders have seen them. The other members of GMS have caught in chariots in the background. You know, go ahead. But that's what it is, right? Go ahead, read that out.
Psalms 34, verse 7. The angel of the Lord encampeth round about them that fear him and delivereth them.
God. So the angel of the Lord, meaning those chariots, meaning those so-called UFOs, you know, are rounded about the men that fear him. You know, and
look at the example of Elisha and his servant, man. When they had the Philistines come against him, and the servant was panicking, and Elisha prayed to the Most High and said, open this man's eyes so he sees that there be many more with us and there be with them. And he opened his eyes, man. There was a whole army of chariots around, surrounding the Philistines, man.
And that's why when Yahweh gives that order, hey, gather mine elect, they know who we are, man.
Yeah.
These UFOs, these chariots, you know, they've seen our camps. It's gonna be an easy thing for them.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the faith we have. You know, that we're gonna get taken up. You know, we read about it. That's that reward. You know, to get that crown. You know, to be joined up and meet Yahweh Shai in the sky.
Yep.
You know, but what does it go back to? It goes back to those messengers, those so-called UFOs, man. Keeping tabs on everything that's going on this wicked planet.
Could I bring up a quick little precept?
Bring it.
You know, just
Bring it
talking
out.
about like, you know, not everybody can see the chariots, not everybody understands it. You know, not everybody sees the chariots in the same exact guy, you know. But going into
Because
Genesis,
it's not given for them, you know. They're too busy in their darkness. They think it's a green man.
going in just to like get a little bit more like understanding of it is like this is Genesis chapter 1 verse 7, and God made the firmament and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament, and it was so. And God called the firmament heaven, and the evening and the morning were the second day. So we know that there's a firmament out there. You can't see it, but we know it's there.
That's right.
You know?
And that's why their moon travel is a lie, you know.
Yeah.
Because you can't penetrate that firmament. You can't go through that thing, you know.
That shuttle's blown up in the sky.
Con.
Trying to.
You know, we have that protection around us that keeps us where we're at, keeps our air the way it is, so we could continue to live. You know, same thing. They're about around us, even though we can't see them, but they're there for a purpose.
All right, Ak, you want to read on 22?
Come on. And hailstones full of wrath shall be cast as out of a stone bow, and the water of the sea shall rage against them, and the flood shall cruelly drown them. Yea, a mighty wind shall stand up against them, and like a storm shall blow them away. Thus iniquity shall lay waste. Let me start over. Yea, a mighty wind shall stand up against them, and like a storm shall blow them away. Thus iniquity shall lay waste the whole earth, and ill dealing shall overthrow the thrones of the mighty.
Con. And who's the mighty? These guys right here, right? These Edomites. who rule the world in wickedness, and you know, and everything's gonna be against the heathen in the 2/3 that day. You know, you're gonna have Leviathan eating them. You're gonna have the chariots. You're gonna have the brother brought out the waters. You know, because everything's gonna be. Think about it. When the missiles hit those. The oceans and the lakes, the water's going to be affected by that impact. You know, it's going to be fire. You know, it's going to be people drowning. I mean, there's going to be so much destruction like mankind has never seen before. You know. But then you got these bugged out Christians and Catholics talking about no weapon formed against me shall prosper. No, it's going to prosper on you. Trust me on that. It's going to prosper on you for you being in darkness, all right?
That's right. That's right.
Khan, you want to finish off with that Obadiah
Khan.
1 and 15?
This is Obadiah 1 and 15. For the day of Yahweh is near upon all the heathen, as thou hast done.
Near upon all of the men of the Lord?
Is near upon all the heathen.
Khan, near on the prophets?
Is near upon all the heathen.
Khan, and heathen means nations. Day of wrath is going to be coming to you nations, all you nations.
That's right.
As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward is upon, or shall return upon thine own head.
Khan, and really the head of the heathen is Esau Edom, right? He's that serpent. He's that head of all the heathen. In Psalms 83 and 2, it gives us a list of all our enemies, you know, and starting out with Esau Edom. Right, so these are the wicked.
Top.
These guys is your missiles, your technology. That's gonna come back and fuck you up.
Yeah,
you know?
that's right.
And really, some of them are gonna live through that because they're
They're
gonna
be our first slaves, man.
God.
I can't wait to see these guys in slavery.
We're gonna
man.
seek them out and become hunters on them.
We
Right?
already laugh at Esau as they
Jeremiah
walk
16,
down the street,
16 real quick.
Come on.
Imagine Esau in some hardcore slavery.
Mm-hmm. And you got that Job 9:24.
Inferior.
Yeah.
This
You
is
said 16 and 16?
Jeremiah 16:16. Yeah.
I got you.
Just dealing with these guys for a second.
You ready right now?
No, we just after this one.
Okay.
This is Job chapter 9, verse 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he?
Khan, these guys, these Edomites, they covered the faces of the judges, man, and they rule in this world in wickedness. All right, that's why our people are following Cesare over here, Cesare Borgia. Covered because the description of the scripture is a so-called Negro. All right, not this. This is a serpent with a tongue and devil horns, because that's more fitting to what he is. He's a stumbling block for our people. And it starts out with these Edomites, you know, this destruction and wrath. They're gonna be drinking off that cup that they've made Israel drink off of time and time again, you know. And then go ahead and read that one.
Come on. Jeremiah 16 and 16. Behold, I will send for many fishers, saith the Lord, and they shall fish them, and after I will send for many hunters, and they shall hunt them from every mountain and from every hill and out of all the holes of the earth or of the rocks.
Kind of all the holes, because what these guys got set up, bunkers, right? They got underground bunkers set up so they can try to avoid, which some of them, like the brother said, will avoid the death during the missiles. But guess what? We're fishers right now, fishing for the elect, which, you know, like the elders say, it's probably already sealed. 144,000 prophets of Israel are already sealed. All right. But then after we're fishers, what's it say we're gonna do?
Then, and after I will send for many hunters, and they shall hunt them from every mountain and from every hill and out of the holes of the rocks.
Khan, we're gonna get spiritual powers bestowed upon us, you know, and we're gonna hunt those motherfuckers down. And like the brother said, they're gonna be the first slaves in the kingdom.
That's right.
You got one?
I was just laughing because I was thinking back into Genesis, how
Esau is a cunning hunter, you know.
Khan. It's gonna come back on him. Yeah. Guess what?
Yeah.
Everything's gonna fall back on Esau. You know. Just like
Hey, what was the scripture we just read, Ak? Let me read that again. The days upon all the heathen,
Are near.
as thou hast done,
Yep.
it
Obadiah
shall be
1:15.
done unto thee. You've been a hunter, and now you're gonna get hunted.
That's right.
Khan. That's beautiful the way that
Yeah, I never
Thought of it like
put,
that,
put the 2 and 2 together right there.
Khan. Well, and it goes back to like Goliath, right? David cut his head off with his sword, with Goliath's sword. He cut off Goliath's head. Well, same thing with Esau. The missiles, you
Yep.
know, the missiles are going to destroy his people, his kingdom, you know. He's going to be like what were we reading earlier? The arrow that flows through the air and no one never knew about it anymore. The bird that flew, or a guest that stayed at your house for one day, and never to be thought of again. That's Esau, man. Khan,
Your paw.
your pa, Khan,
That's that heat. Whoever diggeth the pit shall fall therein.
Con. Yep.
Khan.
Yep.
It's all reserved for Esau, destruction, the son of perdition. Khan, you want to cut the video?
Oh, okay.